The story of USS Springfield begins long before guided missiles, long before Cold War tension defined the oceans, and long before this ship became one of the most unique command cruisers in U.S. naval history. Named after the city of Springfield, Massachusetts, USS Springfield was launched during a time when the world was locked in a global war that demanded speed, firepower, and resilience from every vessel sent to sea. Originally commissioned as USS Springfield CL-66 in 1944, she was part of the Cleveland-class light cruisers, a class built in massive numbers during World War II to protect aircraft carriers, bombard enemy positions, and dominate surface engagements. Springfield entered service when the U.S. Navy was at its peak wartime expansion, and even as a brand new ship, she carried the weight of a world desperate for victory. From the moment she joined the fleet, Springfield was built for action. Her sleek hull, powerful steam turbines, and formidable gun batteries made her a fast and aggressive warship. Armed with 12 6-inch guns, numerous 5-inch dual-purpose guns, and a forest of anti-aircraft weapons, she was designed to face both surface threats and the ever-growing danger of enemy aircraft. But despite her readiness, Springfield arrived late enough in the war that she did not see the intense combat that earlier cruisers had endured in the Pacific. When World War II ended in 1945, many ships were quickly decommissioned or scrapped, victims of rapid demobilization. Springfield survived this wave, but like many cruisers, she entered a period of reduced activity. The world, however, did not stay peaceful for long. As former allies became rivals and the Cold War began to harden into reality, the U.S. Navy faced a new challenge. The next war would not be fought only with guns and shells. It would be fought with technology, radar, missiles, and command control. Springfield's destiny changed completely in the 1950s when the Navy made a bold decision. Instead of retiring her, they would transform her into something entirely new. The age of guided missiles had arrived, and Springfield would be reborn. In 1957, USS Springfield was decommissioned and taken to the shipyard for one of the most dramatic conversions in naval history. When she emerged, she was no longer a traditional gun cruiser. She was recommissioned in 1960 as USS Springfield CLG-7, a guided missile light cruiser, and more importantly, a fleet flagship. Most of her original gun armament was removed to make room for missile launchers, advanced radar systems, and extensive command facilities. She was equipped with the Terrier surface-to-air missile system, giving her the ability to defend entire fleets against aerial threats at long range. Her superstructure was enlarged to house communications equipment, command spaces, and flag accommodations for admirals and their staffs. Springfield was no longer just a warship. She became a floating nerve center. As a flagship, her mission was different from that of frontline combat cruisers. She was designed to coordinate fleets, relay intelligence, and serve as the command platform for major naval operations. This role placed her at the heart of U.S. naval strategy during some of the most dangerous years of the Cold War. In 1961, Springfield was assigned as flagship of the 6th Fleet in the Mediterranean, one of the most critical naval commands in the world. The Mediterranean Sea was a geopolitical pressure cooker, bordered by NATO allies, Soviet-aligned states, and unstable regions where a single spark could ignite global conflict. From her position in the 6th Fleet, Springfield played a direct role in events that shaped modern history. During the Berlin Crisis, the Cuban Missile Crisis, and repeated Middle Eastern tensions, Springfield stood ready as a command platform capable of directing naval forces across vast distances. Her radar screens watched the skies, her antennas intercepted signals, and her command rooms buzzed with constant communication. During the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, while most attention focused on the Atlantic and Caribbean, the Mediterranean remained a potential flashpoint. Springfield and the 6th Fleet ensured that Soviet naval movements were monitored and that U.S. forces could respond instantly if the crisis expanded beyond the Western Hemisphere. The mere presence of Springfield, bristling with missiles and command authority, was a powerful message of deterrence. Life aboard Springfield was unlike life on most cruisers. Because she served as a flagship, her crew lived alongside admirals, planners, intelligence officers, and diplomatic staff. Sailors not only maintained engines and weapons but also supported continuous high-level operations. The ship never truly slept. Messages flowed day and night, and every watch stood with the understanding that decisions made on board could influence international events. As the 1960s progressed, Springfield continued her service in the Mediterranean, acting as a stabilizing force during crises in the Middle East. During periods of unrest, evacuations of civilians, and demonstrations of naval power, Springfield was often at the center of operations. Her missiles provided air defense, but her greatest weapon was information. Despite her importance, time and technology never stand still. By the late 1960s and early 1970s, newer ships with more advanced missile systems, better automation, and nuclear propulsion began to replace older conversions like Springfield. Maintaining her aging hull and systems became increasingly expensive, and the Navy started shifting toward purpose-built guided missile cruisers. Still, Springfield continued to serve with professionalism and quiet authority. She remained a symbol of Cold War naval presence, her silhouette instantly recognizable in Mediterranean ports. Allies saw her as reassurance. Rivals saw her as a warning. In 1974, after nearly 3 decades of service in 2 very different naval eras, USS Springfield was decommissioned for the final time. Her long journey, from World War II light cruiser to Cold War missile flagship, had come to an end. Unlike some famous warships preserved as museums, Springfield did not receive a permanent home. In 1980, she was sold for scrap. Her steel hull, once a command center for fleets and a guardian of international stability, was dismantled and recycled, her physical form disappearing from the seas forever. But the legacy of USS Springfield did not vanish with her hull. She represents a unique chapter in naval history, a bridge between eras. Few ships experienced such a dramatic transformation, adapting from gun warfare to missile defense, from surface combat to fleet command. Springfield proved that adaptability could extend a ship's relevance far beyond its original design. She also symbolizes the unseen side of naval power. While battleships and aircraft carriers capture attention, ships like Springfield operated behind the scenes, coordinating movements, managing crises, and preventing wars through presence and readiness. Her success was measured not by battles fought, but by conflicts avoided. For the sailors who served aboard her, Springfield was more than steel and machinery. She was home, workplace, and witness to history. Many of them never fired a missile in anger, but they stood watch during moments when the world balanced on the edge of catastrophe. USS Springfield's story reminds us that not all heroes roar into battle. Some stand quietly, radars sweeping the horizon, messages flowing through encrypted channels, ready at any moment to shape the course of history. From the chaos of World War II to the tense calm of the Cold War, USS Springfield carried the responsibility of command with dignity and strength. Her name may no longer echo across the decks of an active warship, but her contribution to naval history remains firmly anchored in time. And in the long story of the United States Navy, USS Springfield stands as a testament to evolution, resilience, and the power of preparation in a world where peace is often preserved not by action, but by readiness.